we had a great week of preparation. You know, he called a great game. You know, we still had a chance to win, so that's not something that was on my mind on my way over here. You know, I'm shocked about both of them.
So your teammates said it seemed like a normal ride home last night. Was that the sense you got?
I wouldn't say normal. You know, knowing that we had a chance to win the game. You know, knowing that we just about won it with DJ catching the ball. So it wasn't normal. You know, I was a little more hurt than normal. You know, a loss is a loss. You know, you're always hurt, but I was a little more hurt because of how it happened. You know, we celebrated and then it got called back. So I wouldn't say normal.
People seem to love Coach Miles as a person and his personality and the things he brought to you guys. How much are you gonna miss?
He's very different. You know, he's a different guy. You know, he has a different sense of humor. He has a different way of going about doing things. You know, so I'm gonna miss that about him. You know, he did a lot of great things. You know, and he brought out the best in all of us. You know, he was a player's coach. You know, he taught me a lot of things on my journey being here. You know, I experienced a lot of things with him, and you know, I'm gonna miss him. You know, everybody's gonna miss him. You know, the whole program. You know, the whole state of Louisiana, all LSU fans. We're gonna miss him. You know, but looking forward, you know, it's time to move on.
What's your impression of Coach L?
He's very energetic. You know, I might have had a couple conversations with him. You know, throughout practice, but never really got to know him. But from what I've seen and what I've heard from the D-line, you know, he's very energetic. You know, he has a lot of energy. He's always you know, ready to go. He knows a lot about football. He's been in this position before, so I'm expecting him to have success.
What did you